Hi, fifth graders. This is the second video that you'll be watching on interpreting remainders. The first video that we asked you to watch talked about all 5 ways to interpret a remainder and then showed you how to round up, a remainder, and also how to write a remainder as a fraction. This video will talk about ignoring the remainder, where you would only pay attention to the whole number, the quotient at the top of your problem. It will talk about how to write your remainder as a decimal, or how to ignore the quotient and have your remainder as your answer. In order to interpret a remainder, we have to have a word problem, have to have a scenario in order to be able to tell what the meaning of the quotient and the remainder are. So I have one typed up for you. It is avocados are on sale for 84 cents a piece. How many avocados can Milo buy if he has $7.75? So I already know that I'm going to be dividing, and I am making equal groups of 84 in $7.75. Now in this case I'm going to ignore the decimal, so just pretend like it's not there for right now. Now I know that I can't make a group of 84 and 7, and I can't make a group of 84 and 77, but I can make 9 groups of 84 in 775. 9 times 84 is 756. And then if I subtract that, then I get a remainder of 19, which again seems kind of high, but I know that it works because it's under 84. Now what does this mean? This means that if I make equal groups of 84 in 775, I will have 9 of them. Since those avocados are what the 84 cents is representing, we know that we can buy 9 avocados with that $7.75. Now, what do we do with the remainder? In this case, we don't do anything with the remainder except ignore it. There are 19 cents left over, which means that Milo does not have enough money to buy another avocado. The answer then has been answered with the quotient of 9. Milo can buy 9 avocados with $7.75. This story should look familiar. Miss Adams wrote a 36-page story. She buys a package of 500 sheets of paper and prints as many copies of the story as she can. The question this time, though, is how many sheets of paper does she have left over? So I know that I am dividing 36 into 500. I can take one group of 36 and 50, end up with 14 left over, bring down my 0, and I know that if I multiply 3 times 36, I get 108, with a remainder of 32, which works because it's under 36. The point here, though, is obviously the division, but we also need to know how to interpret this remainder. What does the 13 mean? Well, that answered our original question of how many copies she could print. But that's not the question this time. The question this time is how many sheets of paper does she have left over? We know then that the paper that she has left over is 32 because we subtracted each time from 500, which represents that paper. In this case, the remainder is your answer, and you would ignore the quotient. So far, we have talked about ignoring the remainder and using the quotient, or using the remainder only and ignoring the quotient. Now we're going to talk about how to interpret the remainder as a decimal. And to do that, we extend our problem. So I have a new problem for you. It is students in the marching band sold calendars to raise money for new uniforms. Violet sold 24 calendars for a total of $186. How much did each calendar cost? So I know that this is a division problem. So I'm going to go ahead and set up 24 into 186. Well, long story short, I know that I can't make a group of 24 in 1 or 18, but I can make groups of 24 in 186, and to do that I need 7 of them. 7 times 24 is 168, subtracted from 186, and I have a remainder of 18. Now, since this problem involves money, there is something that's not quite finished here. I don't have cents, and yet I know that with my remainder of 18 that I have some cents left over. So what I will do, and I'm going to change colors here, I'm going to extend my problem. I'm going to put a decimal point, and if I put a decimal point in my dividend, fifth graders, I have to bring it up to my quotient. Okay? So now I've extended my problem, and I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to add zeros. I'm going to drop the 0 down to make 180. So now I'm going to try to make groups of 24 in 180. Again, that's going to be 7. 7 times 24 equals 168, and I have 12 left over. If I bring down my extra 0, then I am now trying to find equal groups of 24 in 120. And I know, just from calculating this out, that there are 5 groups. 5 times 24 is 120. Subtracted, and now I have a remainder of 0. Okay. What I did was I extended my problem so that I could find numbers to divide 24 by evenly, ending up with $7.75. Each calendar, therefore, costs $7.75. So fifth graders, now by watching the 2 videos that have been posted for you, you have learned about 5 different ways that you could interpret a remainder. By paying attention to only the quotient, the whole number. You could add on to your quotient to make sure that everything is included. You could interpret your remainder as a fraction. You could interpret your remainder as a decimal, or sometimes we would just ignore the quotient and our answer then would just be the remainder. Please keep these scenarios in mind when you are doing the practice for your assignment today.